All right. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Grant Hubbard here with another Gutter Growth podcast. Today, I am introducing and speaking with, finally, we've been waiting for this one for a while, Erik Adank, the owner of High Flow Gutter Pros, and what is it, High Glow Christmas lights as well?
Yeah, High Glow Lighting Pros.
High Glow Lighting Pros. So you're killing two birds with one stone up there, making sure you get the most out of each lead. You're up in North Carolina, man. It's such a pleasure to have you today, man. I've been really excited for this one.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to be here. This is cool. We've been trying to get on this for quite a while, so I'm glad it's actually happening.
So how are you guys doing up there business-wise right now? Are you guys starting to pick up, or?
I don't think we ever got slow.
I was going to say, I don't think you ever got slow.
I mean, the weather slowed us down a little bit, and some other little hiccups, but otherwise, I mean, we are jamming. Like right now today, I got like 30 estimates. I got 30 calls I gotta get to, and I was on vacation for 2 weeks a week and a half ago, and I had like 47 calls and 8 emails and 12 text messages when I got back, and I'm like, okay, here we go. So yeah, we're definitely busy. We're busy all the time.
You've been staying busy. That's one thing. So you have a background in the gutter industry. You've been doing it. You want to talk to us a little bit how long you've been in the industry?
So I have a construction background. I had a construction business in Wisconsin, and then I bought a gutter company there. Man, it's probably I want to say maybe it's been 5 years.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but but I've always been in the construction industry, and then when I got into gutters, I was able to get out of the construction remodeling business, and that was in Wisconsin. I bought a business, did extremely well for my first 4.5 months. I think we did like 210,000 in 4.5 months with a lettered trailer. That was it.
Yep.
And then moved here to North Carolina, and went through a little bit of some hurdles and some storms, and then got back on track a little over a year ago. So last March 2024, we went on our own and just hit the ground running, and it's been pretty wild.
You've been off to the races for sure. Let's talk about why that's happening. You have some magic sauce, and a couple of those things are, one, you know how to educate the customer. You absolutely know what you're doing, and you're taking on some pretty big projects up there. So I know that those customers definitely like to be educated. We're talking homes that aren't typically just built on flat ground, right? There's a lot of hills, a lot of homes that aren't just thrown together, right? And so the homeowners are probably having moved maybe from like a standard subdivision, just a flat foundation home, right, to coming out to maybe building the house of their dreams or purchasing something. And all of their contractors are telling them different things because of, oh, well, it's so high, we're going to be more to put the windows in, or, whatever it may be, because of the height and the extreme measures of the hills, I could assume. So I'm sure you're great at that part of the sale. Secondly, I know you get after it. You do a lot with signs. You put out a ton of signs, and we both know, and a lot of people know, and some don't. Signs work really, really well, like extremely well.
Yep, they do. That's actually, I mean, I checked our message earlier, like before this call, I put out 40 signs in like 35 minutes.
Yep.
And I think I would be surprised if I already got those 2 phone calls I just got 10 minutes ago are probably from those signs. But that's all I do right now is signs. I mean, I have a website, but for instance, last year we put out 550 yard signs from March to January, and we did like 317,000 or something in revenue. And we're on track to kill that this season for sure.
You want to share maybe what are you thinking is going to be your goal this year? Double?
My goal that I got on paper is 1.5 million.
Let's go.
So just with gutters, and obviously my goal with Christmas lights this season coming would be like 250K. I got some plans on how to do that. We have my install guys that I got right now are just beasts. They're installing roughly, I would say that with 2 guys now. With one guy, he was doing about 13 to 15K a week. Now we're definitely hitting 20K almost every week.
Absolutely.
when it's there, right? Like this week we got a bunch of small jobs just to get them out of our hair. So they're doing 3 or 4 little jobs a day. So this week will probably be like 12, 13 grand. But yeah, you know, the secret sauce for me, man, is the, I just do what the Holy Spirit tells me to do, man. So,
There you go.
so for me, that's just kind of how I roll with everything, with my customers, with my guys, even my guys. Like this morning we had a company meeting at 7 a.m., which is partially we, you know, have some prayer, and then we go over business and do all that kind of stuff, and then we just rock and roll. So, yeah, man, it's up here. And you said, like, you talk about the houses, you know, yeah, 80% of our work is hanging off the side of a mountain. We're good at it.
I'm going to pull up just a picture.
So this is what I found.
Okay, so you're telling me my clogged gutters caused all this? I had no idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, most homeowners don't think about their gutters until this kind of stuff happens.
Wow.
Prevent unexpected and costly damage from clogged gutters. Protect your home with One Gutter Guard, the trusted solution for gutter protection. Call us today to find out why more homeowners are choosing One Gutter Guard.
Just a picture really quick here for you guys. This is Erik right here. And I mean, this is a smaller one, actually.
Yeah,
right?
that one's not that bad. Yeah.
This isn't the biggest. This is probably a much easier one there, and we'll talk about that again in a little bit. But that's your typical, you know, cakewalk job for you, right? So let's step back a little bit and talk about when you started High Flow Gutter Pros. I know you had just also got into gutter growth, and that's how our relationship kind of grew. Speaking with you, I know you were on the truck a bunch, and you were like pulling your hair out, doing everything, wearing all those hats, right? You were moving those big ladders, doing all these custom jobs. What was the moment that you had when you knew you had to get off of the truck so that you could start working on the business instead of in it?
You know, I've had that. I've known that for a long time. Like I've just, again, like if it's just me if I'm just chucking a truck, I can't scale. I can't grow. I just can't. I'm never going to be able, I can only put in so many hours. Right. And I just couldn't get any farther. So I've seen that for a long time. I just didn't know the best way to do it. So I knew, you know, that was important to happen as fast as possible. And it happened pretty quick. So.
And you had some hurdles with that too, as well, right? I mean, it's never just easy, just stepping right off the truck immediately. And I think when I remember the day you found the first installer you had, your main guy, right?
The good guy, yeah.
You were excited about him, and now you finally had some help because when you first got in the group, you were working so hard. You were like up, and you had your phone in the gutter, and you were paying attention to the masterminds.
Yeah, I was on the rails.
Yeah. And I was like, that's when I knew you were going to be extremely successful again.
Yeah.
I'm looking here just through.
And that guy, you know, main guy, his name's Justin. He's a beast. You know, we went through some hurdles. I lost him over some personal things, and then we had wintertime. But the blessing in that is he's all back. He's back. He's my main guy still right now.
Fabulous.
And I got him help, and we're trying to get more help right now. So I'm trying to really get a third guy, and I'm really got it on my mind to get a second truck rolling as soon as possible. So, that's the plan. It's just hard to find guys, but we're working on it.
It is. What's something that's standing out right now, maybe that we're talking about in our mastermind, or just as a collective in general in the industry that you're working on, you know, specifically to continue to help your guys grow, you know, whether it be an SOP or something in the vault or just
so that is what I'm battling with right now. So for me, I'm trying to get systems into place. Like we've been, you know, I did a few things backwards. Like I probably should have had documents in the company handbook ready for them when they started, so the expectations didn't have to get in place now. But my main guy is a super understanding guy, and he wants it to be that way too. So now we're implementing. I'm trying to simplify and eliminate excuses and reasons why they didn't do this or they don't do that. And so it's basically I'm implementing checklists right now, and I'm going to be using a ton of stuff from the vault. I mean the company handbook, the warranty documents, the employee training stuff, all those different kinds of things. So right now is my biggest thing is trying to implement the system, because now we're on fire, right? Now it's burning. I can't keep up with the calls. It's just crazy right now. So
you need a VA.
I finally was talking with my wife about that, who was kind of, hesitant. Like, are you sure? And now she's like, do it, So if you think about it, I mean, if I lose 2 or 3 jobs a month, I mean, that pays for the VA. And I know for a fact in the last 3 weeks, I've lost at least 4 jobs because I was on vacation.
Well, let's look at it like this too, Eric. We don't even have to be necessarily reactive with being proactive, meaning we don't have to say, well, what if we lose 2 or 3 jobs? That is true. If you lose 2 or 3 jobs and you don't lose them, of course that. If you don't lose anything, it pays for all kinds of stuff. What if you're not running circles and you're able to be more efficient and spend more time with your clients and with your family, right? I think that's
and I had that talk with Tim, because I'm not the most organized person. I mean, I got a notebook, an iPad, and 2 phones, right? And it's all over the place. So what I want to put in place now is an admin, or like a secret weapons, and I want them to take the calls, put them in the computer right away, and onto the schedule, and that way that eliminates a notebook, an iPad, and one phone, right? And now I see my schedule, and so that's exactly what I'm looking for, and I've had a taste of that in the past. Where the admins entered all the information and just made my schedule. So that phone call is going to be happening pretty quick to get that in place. But that's what I mean, right now I'm like, I have a lot of freedom, right? Like, I'm not on the truck. I work like 2 or 3 days a week, and I hang out with my kids and my family as much as I can. And I mean, I wish I want to put more time in, but I also lost a lot of time in the past. So if I can get the VA in place and stuff like that, admin wise, then my head will be clear. I don't know what that feels like. So to have not spinning in circles, I'm like looking forward to that. So
I really encourage you, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. Let's, for the viewers, just talk briefly, just very briefly here, about what this VA could look like for them or for someone like Eric. So one of the packages that you could have would be, that they'll answer their phones for you, English speaking. Hello, High Flow Gutter Pros. How may I help you today? Okay, you want an estimate. They're going to have access to your estimating calendar. They're just going to go ahead and put the time and dates in for you. If for some reason you felt you needed to make a change afterward, then they would just make that change for you. They can schedule your jobs. You have to educate them on how much money and routing, but they learn extremely fast. Their attention to detail is fabulous. So now they're going to start to route their jobs. And even if you supplied them with a basic inventory, they would be able to help you with your ordering, right? Because they're amazing on the computer. They're able to place orders for you. They can just take so much off of your plate by having someone make sure that you're working on it and then they're working in it. And that's just the beginning. You could also ask them to take those documents, that we're all procrastinating on implementing into our business. Let's just say the employee handbook, for example. You want to talk about procrastinating on using them. I had to make those, and I procrastinated on typing them, right? And now I'm in a role, and I'm punching out documents all the time. So sometimes we just have to get into a role of things. But you could have your VA take those documents for you. Hey, I need you to take them, bring them over. Here's our high flow stuff. Create the logo and imaging and all that branding on this document, and then send it over here to my computer. It'll just print out, and then you can start talking about it. Or have them hold you accountable, bring them in via Zoom or something into your meeting, and then they're going to hit you with your agenda for the meeting. And that way you are on point every single time, and you're not losing ground. You're having these amazing teaching moments and thoughts during the week. And then when the meeting time comes, it's like, we're all last minute and, pushing.
Right. And I got some things in place too. So that's going to make that easier. Like I have Jobber and I have Company Cam and I have inventory app that we use. So like everything is tuned right now to where anybody can, and my guys on a daily basis, fill out a form on a daily basis that shows how many elbows and stuff we use. And they subtract it from inventory every single day. So everything, all that stuff is finally getting fine tuned to where it should make it easier for anybody to help do all that stuff. So
That's really cool. I was just going to ask you about a system that you've implemented that is helping your day-to-day operations, and it sounds like that one hits the nail on the head. You know, we just do one system at a time, Erik. You know that we want to implement all this stuff, but sometimes it's just the first couple systems getting in place, getting us in a routine where we actually realize we need a couple more, and then things start moving. And then you, as the owner, are able to really sit back and kind of start to disengage maybe with the day-to-day activities and work on that vision part. Tell me a little bit. Again, I know you have experience in the industry. I know you have experience in running different styles of gutter businesses too. You've had a couple different things in your journey. What is something that maybe Gutter Growth has helped you with just in this past year with this new venture of High Flow Gutter Pros? Like, what do you think the best part about that being in that group is? Your biggest takeaway?
The best thing for me with Gutter Growth was that when I was walking into an island by myself, I had a community that had my back. And the coolest part about it too is that it's tuned to every specific person on there's company individually, right? So it's like, yeah, we get to see all these different things we can implement, but we can only implement them as we can implement them as we're progressing and growing, right? And so, like, I mean, just being able to take my calls and help me questions with this and that and walk me off the cliff when I'm like, you know, just, you know, losing my tech or whatever it is. Yeah. I mean, it's just been, it's been an amazing relationship with you and Tim and just the community in general. That just having support is key. Like genuine support that actually cares about you is what is amazing to me. So that's been my now I'm excited to now I can start implementing these things.
Yeah.
At that point I was just I was just grinding, man. It's just grinding. Now I got to fine tune the machine so that it can just, you know, automate itself as much as possible. And then just go from there. But man, I love Gutter Growth, man. You know, I remember being where I was like, man, there's no way I can pay for this. And I'm like, you know, in my head, I'm like, I'm never going to be able to pay for that, you know? And now I don't even know where I don't even pay attention to it. And, you know, it doesn't even matter, you know? And I know I need to get on some more Zooms on a consistent basis, but I just been grinding. But yeah, man, I love it, dude.
I appreciate that. I think you hit the nail on the head with what the mission is over here. Is the first part of our mission, right, is to change the gutter industry's path.
Hi, my name is Archie, and I don't want this, or this to cause unexpected damage to your home.
Prevent unexpected and costly damage from clogged gutters. Protect your home with one Gutter Guard, the trusted solution for gutter protection. Call us today to schedule your free gutter inspection and estimate.
Path to knowing numbers, being profitable, and growing together. And what we've been able to do with a ton of support at Gutter Growth is exactly what you said. We didn't just build this coaching program for people to come in and kind of lollygag around, and while we only talk about the $2 and $3 million companies, or the $2 and $3 million companies are in meetings where we're just talking things that the $250,000 a year companies are dealing with. I think we really structure it to give everybody something all the time, and we can't do that without all of those great coaches that we've got.
And
so awesome.
The cool part is that even the big companies, little companies, are all struggling with all the same stuff.
Exactly.
Just on different levels. And you know what I like about this coaching program is that this coaching program isn't based off of someone's system or something like that. It's based off of personal experiences with actual, you know, 20 years in the industry and actual guys. So it's like, you know, it's not saying that everything's going to work everywhere you go. You know, we got to figure out what works for us, where we are, and you guys help implement those things. I'm most excited right now about is the vault, man. I can't wait until like the training videos and like all that kind of stuff gets put in there, you know. I'm going to send you some of these checklists that I'm going to make too, because you may want to use them. I don't know, but it's basically going to be like a daily thing. Like, this is what this tech does. This is what this tech does. And checklist, you know, because what my guys have a habit of doing is leaving stuff behind, like levels or whatever. And I buy stability levels, and they're not cheap. So now they got a checklist that hangs in the back of the truck that they got to check off at the end of the job and make sure that's all there before they can leave. And then they got to send it to company cam and put it in the folder. So,
I love that.
So,
I'm open to. Somebody else asked me the other day, "Oh man, I have this thing, but you probably don't want me to say." I'm like, I may have my arrogant moments about installation. I mean, I've just been doing gutters a very, very, very long time.
yeah.
That there's not a lot more to learn about the install, but everything I learned about systems and processes, I learned from someone else.
Right.
And blessed to work for a plethora of different styles of owners. And I think that's what's made my learning experience unique to help teach others. It's just there's so many daggone people in different regions. So I'd love to see checklists.
They're coming. I'm gonna. That's my goal this week, is to get those finished. So, like, there'll be a truck checklist. I mean, which I think you guys already have in the vault, is like a maintenance list.
Yeah.
But these are really.
Erik, I recommend people always have just one of those small little 12-inch by 9-inch whiteboards, dry erase at the back of the truck, so they can just easily write need paint, need wicker screws, out of tap cons. So it just more visual. Here's the thing. You want to make a bunch of money. That's why you take the risk, open a business. I want to make a bunch of money. So do they. The least amount of times we forget stuff, go back, mess up, screw up, lie, cheat, steal, forget all of those things, the more money we can make. So when it really comes down to it, we sit down with employees going like, a lot of companies aren't training their guys to be the best. That's where the systems and processes come into play.
Yeah.
We're not, myself included, we're not training our employees like the best gutter installer in the nation. We're just like, and I mean from day one, right? When you do things the wrong way and the work comes first and the systems come last. Yeah. We really sit down and think, like, if we want them to be the best, like, are we flying them to go train with the best guy on the planet? Or is there even that place, in the United States where you can send people or out to go work with other companies? Yeah. Speaking of that, one thing I really like about you is that you actually know how to install gutters. We were talking about that at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, I actually have a guy that sends his guys to me from Myrtle Beach to train his guys.
I love that. That's the way that people are going to grow, is like not just being trained by one person. They get so much more experience having a variety of ways to do things. One way that I've noticed, there's a bunch of ways, but one way I've noticed that you've been really helpful, more so in the past 6 months, is once it got out that you make a very cool full-size wedge. It's really the only way to do it in these circumstances. Yeah, maybe on smaller homes with less winds and things like that, and snow and rain, you can put in the little wedges. But what do you call it? You call it a full wedge? I'm going to show a picture of it here.
Yeah, I mean, so it's funny. There's another guy in the industry his name's Seth. I'm sure you know who he is, but he told me to call it the E wedge because my first name's E. So he said he's going to call it the E wedge too. But yeah, so we're going to call it the E wedge, and it's basically a full length wedge, and we make it on site. We're going to actually start making it in my storage unit warehouse and start having it in a few different colors for the mountains already ready to go. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's we custom bend it all. Some of the houses we have to do on site because it's just a little bit different of angles.
Correct.
And I just push them on the big custom homes because there's a lot of ice and snow up there. And look at the homes. I mean, the homes are just crazy expensive. So why would you want to see all the sloppy looking wedges underneath?
Yeah, they create a lot of buckles in the back of the gutter as well too.
And you can see the screws, and so yeah. I mean, we want. That's 5-star service. So we want to put out the best, and that's what we say we're going to do. So that's what we do. I do give them an option, but I show them the pictures of the options, and usually, I'm like, hey, if it's only $2 a foot difference for these crappy wedges versus you can have these wedges, so it's an easy upsell. And there's a lot of failure happening on the mountain, right? So on the mountain where we do all these houses, and guys have they like make wedges out of coil and they put them every 3 feet. They're all failing right now. So Now we're coming in and we're repairing them all, and so now the builders are seeing it, and the builders love it, man. I mean, the builders,
it's the best way to do it. Congratulations on execution there for sure. What have you found? And I think you kind of answered it. I mean, it's like all about the education. When it's no different than when I show homeowners pictures of like either European square downspouts or foreign round downspouts.
Yep.
And I use the word builder grade on the 3x4. And by no all means, we do a ton of 3x4 corrugated as well, right?
Right.
Just certain homes don't want. But the more you bring it up, and like you said, you just show them the alternative, that little busted wedge, that massive slant, and you can see, like you said, you see all the screws.
You can see the light behind it. You can see it all, man.
Well, when it gets that slanted, as well as I do, and you're using those other wedges, the installers just end up trying to pull the gutter up to make it look square, and it's not going to be sitting like that in 6 months.
See, the full length, what's nice too is there's no ripple. It doesn't ripple the bottom of the gutter.
Correct.
Because when they're putting those screws in, a lot of guys screw it next to the wedge instead of through the wedge. Correct. And then you can see it. I mean, I got some pictures where the stuff just looks crazy, and they're brand new houses up there on the mountain. So, that's what I'm like, hey, like you can have that guy or you can have this, you either want the best or you want the Chevy Cavalier, whatever works.
It's all about getting it, pushing it out there, man. If someone were to ask you, they bump into you in the street and they say, man, I'm opening a gutter business, and you've done it a couple times, at this rate, what would be your number one piece of advice to opening? Like, don't do this one thing, or hey, make sure you absolutely, like, you've learned it now. My thing
would be to never focus on your on the competitors. Don't even look at it. Don't focus on it. Don't let anybody tell you that it's saturated. It doesn't really matter, right? Like if you do good work, like I've never paid attention to anybody anywhere I go because I don't care about them. Like we're building our business and we're going to build it however we want to build it. Even in construction, I was not the cheap guy, but I was always busier than I wanted to be. So my thing would be to keep it simple in the beginning. Like, if someone tells you to go buy 600 yard signs and put them out yard signs, go buy 600 yard signs and put them out and see what happens, right? There's a lot of simple things to do to overthink it, than overthinking it. But I know what a lot of guys do is they worry about the $6 a foot guy and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, you'll be fixing that guy's stuff in a year and a half. So just let that guy have the job and then come back and fix it later and charge him your price plus $6 a foot. Like it doesn't, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, for me, I just try to keep it simple and you just got to hustle,
you do got to hustle.
To think, there's some guys I've talked to, and I talk to a lot of people on a regular basis that are local gutter companies here, all over the country that I've helped coach, that I still talk to. They ask me questions on a weekly basis. It's just the same stuff. They're like, I don't have work, or what do I do? And it's like, how many signs you got up? And the one guy's like, well, I got a couple hundred sitting here. Well, why are they sitting there? If you don't have work, then go put the signs out. So if you got signs sitting in your truck, then there's a reason why you don't have, you might be a job short, right? So, but that doesn't work everywhere too. So let me be clear. Like there's some places where signs will be gone in an hour and they just don't work. But for us, it works. And I feel like for a majority of places, it works well. But back to just don't focus on the competition. Who cares? Like charge what you're worth. And if you're worth it, make sure that you don't push away from it. Like we are not the cheap gutter guy around here, but we are definitely the best.
I agree with what you're saying too. And I think with that, I would just recommend people to know when it's time to do your due diligence. So if you've never been in the gutter business and you're thinking about starting one, that would be the only time you might go out and price check local competition, see what the pricing is in your market while you're doing your research. Yeah. You're deciding if you're going to open a business so that you can, whether you have support or not, understand what your price point is going to be. I mean, after that, yes, who gives? I mean, yeah, it might get annoying if Marcus is literally 2 streets down and putting a sign up next to. I mean, if you have like a competitor that's messing with you,
that's what I do.
The only time. Otherwise, McDonald's doesn't give 2 craps, but anybody else is charging for a burger.
I mean, And if you're brand new and you have no experience, I think that's a whole different conversation, right? Like you probably need to go work for another gutter guy, or you need to get with Gutter Growth or somewhere where you can actually have somebody fly in and teach you how to do gutters and pay for whatever that costs, right? So,
Right.
And then go from there. Like I don't.
Business is no different than putting your kids in sports. Like your boy never played soccer before. You can go put him out on a team. You wouldn't just like run around promoting that he wants to play and then he's never kicked the ball.
Right? Yeah, right. Yeah.
You just get him out and get some coaching.
I hear you.
Get some practice runs, right?
Yep.
So you also do the Christmas lights. How did that get started? And
Tim Crouch. That's how that got started. I mean,
that's a brilliant idea, right?
So I'm from northern Wisconsin, and Christmas lights up there are huge, right? And I actually never thought of it as a business until, I moved here, and then I've seen Tim doing it, and I have a thing that I've actually wanted to do for years. I don't really want to talk about it on here because I don't want anybody to steal my idea, but Tim knows about it, and they do a lot of it up in Wisconsin, and there's nothing like that here. So it's one thing it's in my pipe dreams that I want to do, but then I seen Tim doing these Christmas lights, and I'm like, well, this got to be cakewalk, right? So I bought like 100 yard signs, put out 100 yard signs, and I think I did like 14,000 or something. Right. But I was so busy with gutters that if I would have done more, it wouldn't have been good, So so this year we're gonna go gusto. I'm gonna go put out 1,200 yard signs and get a whole crew just to do it and just hit it hard. But it's a no-brainer, man. I mean, I think it's residual income. So
did you find so your path last year to that's right. This year, will you cross promote? I mean, will you be making sure that your client that you're at for gutters, at least you put one touch on them to let them know that
I do? Yep. I tell everybody that I do Christmas lights. Yep. Everybody. Yep. So,
so you're going to shoot for $250,000 this year?
That's my goal. Yep.
You can do it. Tim did 245,000 in his first year and 500. He had $500,000 in the second year. Dude.
I know. So yeah. And I got something that I got a little bit of a bombshell. Well, you kind of know. You and Tim have been talking about, but I'll just put it out there. I
was going to bring it up. That was my next question.
Bring it up. What is it? Bring it up.
All right. So hey, you ever thought about opening a second location, moving anywhere else?
I have, and I didn't, but yeah, I am. So the game plan is to open up a location, and it's a definite now at this point. So
yeah,
we're going to open up a location in Sarasota, Florida, and we're going to do it a whole different route because I just want to see the different angle. Right? So we're going to run subs, which I'm going to use Gutter Growth guys, because they've reached out to me, and I feel like I can trust guys in Gutter Growth. So we're going to run subs right out the gate. I'm actually going to go down there and drop 1,500 yard signs in a weekend. Grant's going to come up and help me put them out. And
talk to me, brother, for sure.
And we're.
Oh, and we lost him.
You lost me.
But as soon as you said I had to come, you left. So.
Oh, really?
You're back. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're going to go down and drop the signs soon, and then we're going to see what happens. But we're going to run the sub. We're going to run subs until the business can buy its own machines and all that kind of stuff. So, because I don't want to go down there and drop a ton of money on it. I want to grow it like you guys are growing Mother's Gutters, man. So
yeah, do it the right way. Put the systems in from the get-go.
Yep.
Let the subs know what this is the best part right now. This is the bigger version. We weren't going to be able to talk about it, sell it, but this was what we want in Gutter Growth is this massive trust community. Where when you get a job in California, you got a buddy in Gutter Growth, he can knock it out for you. This little web, and we're doing it with mothers using Alejandro, right?
Right.
So it's a great.
And so I can't even do subs here because the gutter companies here, it's like I'm like their enemy. Like they won't even. I called a couple of companies to do a chop and drop. They won't help me. So Florida, I put a post out on Facebook, and I had like 25 people reach out to me.
People were in Florida, yeah.
And we were, our other plan is we're gonna do Christmas lights there too. I don't know how we're gonna do that yet. Whether that's gonna be, with one of my mentors or.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, and let's do a breakout or something and help everybody in the group discuss because Chris D has a ton of experience, obviously, in his certain style of sale.
Yeah.
So I think putting a couple heads together, man, we could come up with something really brilliant. And
Right.
you guys just go out there and kill it.
Yeah. So that's my plan. I haven't set any goals. My wife just been talking. I mean, our game plan is to get to Florida, right? So, it's just different down there, man. So, but we'll keep everything here. I'm going to keep my business here. I'm going to put my main guy into a management position to run the location and make sure he's well compensated. And we're still going to go back and forth and keep building. So
here's my recommendation with that. And I told this to a couple other people the other day. So you already know in your head that he's going to be like your manager guy, your assistant, whatever. You should start getting him to sit into some of these gutter growth meetings.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys about that.
It's a part of your membership. The company can bring people in and they can grow with us. That's what we want. We want you guys to have real growth. So
Cool.
If your employees need to come sit in, or if there's a certain mastermind a week that fits with him growing, or we need to spend some time and talk with him, get him. There's absolutely in the vault 2 or 3 documents he should be working on right now. And one of them is the brand new leaders building leaders.
Okay.
He's going to love that document. It's very easy to work through, and you see instant results if you commit.
Okay.
So get him on that one, man.
Sounds good.
I really appreciate you hanging out with me today, man. It's been real. We've been waiting for this one, man. When you said a couple weeks ago that we could get in, I was like, yes.
Yeah, everything's kind of been crazy.
I'm really proud of you, man. Really proud of the work you're putting in. It's exciting to see, and you're doing some pretty big numbers. And I love seeing these bulk orders. You're doing it the right way.
Yeah, man, we're dropping. I've spent like, I don't know, $18,000 on materials in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So, I mean, I had the biggest sales month. My biggest sales month ever was last month. I sold $117,000 worth of gutters, and I technically sold it all in 3 days. But I'm not saying it's a brag. It just worked out that way. That
it worked out. You were in a closing. You got some work done and reached out to everybody, and they all locked it in, right?
And I never stepped a foot on any of them to look at them. Like nice. It was weird. Like honestly, it was all God, man. But they're not all happening right away because there's some big monster projects. But but we sold them. They're locked in, and we're still running hard. So
keep pushing. Keep leading the right way, man. Keep God first on that. Freak like Jesus.
Amen.
Until the next time, brother.
Yep. See ya.